Hello again team, it's Jess or Jashi Corinne on behalf of the Art and Olive Design team, coming to you with 10 teacher-related bullet journal ideas. This video does have a related blog post over on the Art and Olive website, so be sure to check out the description box below to find a link to that one. As we're flipping through, you'll see that we certainly do have more than 10 ideas set up in this planner, so once you're finished with this video, be sure to jump over to my channel to see more of those ones. Without further ado though, let's have a look at some ideas. The first idea we have is that of a teaching-related future log. So you can see the structure of this one is a little bit different to a typical future log, which would be month by month. Instead, this one is term by term. I do have the mini calendars down the side to show which months fall into which terms, but having it set up this way might just be a little more helpful for your school-related happenings. The dots on the mini calendar I've used to represent the holiday periods, but you might want to use some different colours to represent different happenings as well. For instance, staff-only days, half days, days that you have leave, etc. Our next idea is that I call a term planner or lesson scheduler, and this is one that I found super helpful in my journal. The way this one works is that we have the weeks of the term along the top and the days of the week down the side. Within each of the big boxes we have here, we've also got space for each of the individual periods. So for example, this one is Monday, periods 1 through 6 in week 4. This one is Tuesday, in week 4, periods 1 through 6. The way that I'd fill this one in is that I just write out a little description or title of what I was doing in each of those lessons. So as we can see here, the green represents Year 9 Science. So maybe in this Year 9 Science lesson, we're looking at the structure of flowers. Maybe in the next one, we're looking at the reproduction of flowers, etc. This one's nice as it just gives me a snapshot overview of what to expect on each day for each week. I've done my key as open circles so that I can tick off when the materials for those lessons are prepared. Or what you could do is a half cross for lesson prepared and a full cross for lesson finished. The next idea we have is a markbook, and while I personally like to keep my markbooks digitally, you might prefer to have it in your paper planner. This one's set up on a Dutch door, so we can see the students' names regardless of which Dutch door we've got open. And then we've got space along the top to write out all of the things that we're marking in. For this, I've decided that a tick means that the thing has been done or submitted, etc. And a box means that that thing hasn't been done. The nice part about doing boxes is that if the student does hand the thing in, you can still put a tick in the box, but it also gives you a record of the students that aren't getting things handed in a timely fashion. I've also got an example of some different things you could be including in your markbook. So it could be for absences, work completion, homework, etc. We all know that teacher life is pretty dang busy, so an idea to help you be as productive as possible, especially with little snippets of time that you might have in your day, is that of the 5, 10 and 15 minute tasks. I've also included 1 minute tasks here, but effectively this just ends up being a reference that you can come to see what different things you can do to fill your time productively. Remember, rest is also productive though, so if you need to take a 5-minute breather, just take the 5-minute breather. Also make sure that you fill this reference with things that are realistic to complete in those timeframes. The ones I've got here are just ideas, so make sure to have a brainstorm for yourself before you populate it. The next idea we have here is that of special assessment conditions, or a reference for the assessment conditions that your students need. I've broken this one down to have the classes, the student names, and then the assessment conditions along the side here. The nice part about having it class by class is that when you come to do an assessment for that class, you don't have to look through a list of alphabetized names to find just the students you're looking for. Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita are all going to have the same Year 12 chemistry assessment, so having all of their assessment conditions together is going to be more helpful. Another idea that might be useful to have in your teacher planner is that of a command term glossary. At my school we did the MYP, or Middle Years program, and that one had some very specific pieces of terminology with some very specific definitions. So having a command term glossary, or a glossary for any specific terms that your school uses, might be helpful. For the command term glossary in particular, this is one that I would share with my students as well, so they know the difference between describe and explain, etc. The idea we have here is a before term X checklist. And this is one of the page ideas that I used a lot in my teacher planner. So towards the end of any term or semester, depending on what your school's breakdown is, I'd write myself a list of all of the things I wanted to achieve before I came back for the next term. I've grouped this one so that we have different classes, we have general tasks, marking, and printing. As we know, teaching can be pretty hard sometimes, and sometimes we just need a little pick-me-up to remind us why we do what we do. A words of appreciation log could be helpful here. So anytime you get praise or a compliment, whether that be from a colleague or a student or their family, having a place to record it, which you can then come back and reflect on when you need to, could be pretty useful. The next idea we have here is the school year bingo board, which I think is a lot of fun. I like bingo boards for anything though, honestly. But in this one we just populate it with different little occurrences that could happen at school. For instance, a meeting that could have been an email. And then as those occurrences happen, we can just colour them in to check off that they did. What might also be nice is to set yourself up some rewards for having completed a row, a column, a diagonal, and then the full board. Another idea for your teacher planner is also where you get teacher discounts. I've listed a couple here, not to say that Archer and Olive is specifically a teacher discount, but you can get a discount with my code JASHIKAREN10. But so often I will go to a place, pay for my stuff, and then after the fact realize that they had a teacher discount. Super frustrating. So having a log of those in your planner could be very helpful. Flipping through though, and as mentioned, there are plenty of other ideas that I have for teaching related layouts, so be sure to jump over to my channel to see the video where we go through all of these. And remember, this video does also have a related blog post over on the Archer and Olive website where we dive into more detail with the spreads we looked at here. As always team, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye!